All right, we are officially here with episode 1 of our Curse of Strahd Revamped campaign with the entire crew here tonight. We have HP, we have Joy, we have Nimfoodle Connor, we have John, and we have Frost today. So it is going to be an epic campaign through the mystical mists of Barovia in a gothic kind of horror campaign. So a little bit different than our joyful Strixhaven one, where the biggest thing you have to worry about is a pop quiz. This one you have to worry about a vampire sucking your blood out of your neck. Super excited to have everyone watching today. We'll be doing these sessions every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. And then next week we'll also be doing our Tomb of Annihilation campaign on Mondays at 8:30 p.m. You got to throw that plug out there. So we'll be back twice a week starting next week, especially with the summer ahead. It will be great times with horrific encounters and hopefully beautiful, great friends. So as we get started, without further ado, let's kind of set the scene where we are at as we begin our journey in Curse of Strahd Revamped. It has been too long. Oh yes.
Ooh, look at these maps.
Oh yes. We gotta spice it up a little bit. Yeah. So to set the kind of mood right now, we'll begin our Curse of Strahd campaign with a few kind of moments of reflection. There was a time before this where evil was buried, where the light used to shine bright, and fear was not something you had to worry about amongst every corner. That time is not now. In the lowlands of the world, where the river slows and rots, and trees grow twisted with roots that kind of sprawl out like hands, much death in the soil amongst all the vegetation, lies a forgotten countryside of sinking villages, old stagnant water, and gods that never left. Here, a stretch of the swampland thick with fog and superstition. It's a place where the dead is not buried, but bargained with, where curses are woven into bone necklaces, and where the locals say spirits walk like men. This is a land where magic is carved into driftwood and painted amongst the doors of crumbling shacks for protection. Clay dolls with rusted nails hang from trees, not as warning, but as promises. Few dare to tread far into the bogs. The land doesn't seem to forget anything that goes through it, and also doesn't like trespassers. But lately, the land has been experiencing major changes. People have gone missing. Fog rolls into dusk and doesn't seem to leave. The old crone at the market will mutter, "He's walking again," to people who walk by, whether travelers or passerbyers. And all paths, sooner or later, lead to the ruins of a place long since given back to the dead. The Bell Cemetery, a place that is known as the Bell Residence, that is off the beaten path and out of the outskirts of any nearby settlements. But before we focus on that, we're here at a crooked tavern that is raised on stilts above the murk, the Swamp Dweller Tavern. This is where our story is going to begin today. It's a place where tired adventurers and cursed strangers mingle and mix with the whispering locals, typically over drink or scheming potential plans together. It's a place of a melting pot where people from the upper cities and the lower cities seem to connect. Now, the world may have forgotten about the bogs and the swamps, but not the adventurers who seek time inside this place. So as we begin today's session, we are inside that Swamp Dweller Tavern. This is in the middle of a local swamp. No settlements in the nearby region, the closest one being over a day's away. This tavern is crumbling, stilted on the edge of the wetlands. Inside, as we can see, candlelight barely cuts through the gloom as most of the fog blurs anything of the outskirts of the windows. The walls are covered with mildew and old wanted posters that lay there thickened with dust and grit. This is where the locals howl with their drinks, and this is where we're going to begin today's session. There's a few people scattered inside here at this time, many of them being locals, but not all. Many of them from different backgrounds, walks of life, motives, reasons, and passions. Some are here for coin, some are here for revenge. Some are just here because they heard that the drink was pretty cheap. As we begin our journey, though, we're going to focus on one individual. This individual sits over at the bar by himself, kind of out of the outskirts eyes of everybody. At this time, it's going to be so nice. We are back, aren't we? John,
Ooh.
would you like to describe your character to the party and for all those watching?
Well, Jason is a young man that is very burly. Like he has way more muscles than he should have. But at the same time, he has kind of a soft face. He's wearing a very big red cloak with the initials YH, the letter Y and the letter H. And he has a very big and pronounced sword strapped to his back. And he would be, he's of the black man with like kind of red hair. And yeah, he's probably like watching everyone, seeing if there's anything interesting. And he's probably handing out cards to his new monster hunter business. Being like approaching people and be like, hey, if you need a creature killed, I'm your man. I charge very cheap and I will do pretty much anything.
All right. At this time, as you are handing out these small business cards made on very fine parchments, giving them out to individuals inside here, you get a smell of the tavern. It is a thick, kind of earthy smell of the muck and grit that is mostly caked on people's shoes who walk up to you to grab these business cards. As you begin to settle in at this time, you've probably handed out a dozen or so until your hands and eyes meet those of somebody else. Somebody who doesn't seem to be like your typical patron of a location like this. Somebody who seems to have weight to them in the sense of mystery, and for you, catches your attention. It's kind of hard also because many other people are looking at this person as well. At this time, Connor, would you like to describe your character to the group?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So,
Thank God, yes.
so yeah, there's one key difference amongst other things, but there is a cloaked figure in dark leathers. He seems to be about of average height, average build from the shoulders down, but atop his head is indeed a glowing pumpkin with eyes that seem to glow and flicker with candlelight, and he would be sitting down at the bar as well.
This warms my soul, Connor. It warms my soul seeing this.
Love
You notice
good.
as you're sitting at the bar,
So
a
maybe-
gentleman approaches you handing you a business card for his monster business. The two of you meet eyes. Is there any conversation that goes on at this time?
Hi, hello, are you... Can you see me? And he's going to like wave his hand.
Hey, yep, I see you right there.
Oh, it's Fitz.
I do.
Do you have a name?
Yeah, I'm Palin.
Balin. Are you going to try to kill these people, or are you kind of a chill guy? With the whole head thing.
It's like a fungus, all right. It'll clear up in a few days, I'm sure. Yeah, you know, if there's some monsters around, I wouldn't. I mean, look at me. I wouldn't, you know, wouldn't be opposed to going after him.
I mean, how long have you had this faith? Like, are you sort of a pumpkin that was cursed to be a man, or are you a man that was cursed? Like, what is the story there?
You know, I don't think it's that big a deal, you know.
Fair enough. I'll back off.
Have you always had a cape?
I would say having a cloak is far more normal than, your face, but hey, I like meeting interesting people.
Well, it's not a competition.
So if you want them, we can move. because you are definitely a remarkable fellow.
You notice at this time, you look into the eyes of this gourd, and you can see. Sorry, you can see these flames flickering inside, almost like a luminescent lights. But as you see them kind of glow and sway, you can see they're not of natural flow. You can see there's some kind of arcane or some type of element to them that doesn't just seem to be natural flames flicker inside. Mayhaps non-fire hazard in a sense. As you are having this conversation with each other, sizing each other's pumpkins and capes at this moment, there is somebody that catches the two of you in their eyes at the current time, watching the two of you introduce each other to one another at this moment. At the other side of the bar, at this moment, would you like to describe your character at this time, Joy?
Sure. Marie is a beautiful young woman. She's just sitting there talking with the bartender and the server and the other bar goers and whoever's listening. She seems very friendly. She's making quick friends. Doesn't seem to belong in a bar, really. Looks very young, very innocent.
Yeah. And at this moment, as you're making friends with the people amongst you, amongst the bar as well as the barkeeps, the conversations are short but friendly, as the people, the locals around, will ask the typical small talk questions. But as you're talking to them, you notice the two individuals across the bar kind of like observing each other, and also it's kind of hard not to see a glowing pumpkin as well that is standing there also. As you see these two individuals at this time, Joy, is there any thoughts, actions, or anything that you do at this current moment seeing these two?
I would definitely look at them, see the glowing head and the big sword, and I would look back to a different corner at somebody I know, so they can take a look.
Yeah. As you take a glance over at the two of them having a conversation at the other side of the bar, you glance over at somebody of familiarity, somebody that you have known in the past, and somebody that you, to be quite frank, know pretty well currently. Looking across at the bar at this time, and at this moment. Frost, would you like to describe your character to the party?
My character is 6'2". He's 250 pounds. He is a big, muscular dude. He's got really pale skin and red hair. He's got a lot of unattractive features. He's got a very intense face to him. Very, very unsettling. He wears really refined clothing. He's wearing a long blue coat with like gold fringes, a yellow vest on, and like a white collared and like necktie. And he's kind of standing like against the wall with his arms folded, and as soon as the conversation about monster hunting started, he would have been following the man with the Y and the H on his shirt, and he would have been locking eyes as he watched him walk around, and the pumpkin, when it arrived and started speaking, kind of jumping between them. Every third look or so, he would look over to his very familiar person, just to make sure that she's okay and she's safe. And then every now and then, he would glance over his shoulder, as if he was trying to hear something, then glance back. But it's very, when he walks, he takes heavy steps, so you can hear it boom on the floorboards as he walks by.
At this moment, is there anything any of the four of you are doing at this time, or any conversations that you guys are having amongst each other or observing anything within the tavern at this moment.
I'd like to make my way over to my familiar friend, if I could.
Of course.
You see what we have found here? This is not familiar.
Yeah. Honestly, outside the windows, it's reminding me of home. This place is interesting.
I wonder which ones we are supposed to be hunting. Which ones are the ones farming the cattle and the children? From the looks, it could be anyone.
Literally anyone in this tavern. Yeah.
Is there anyone you favor or would prefer is dispatched?
No, I'm definitely gonna approach the pumpkin guy because that's just funny.
It's a skin condition.
Not enough oil.
Sister, you always find the interesting ones. But if that is what you wish, I will not stop you. But I do urge you to be cautious with this one.
Whatever do you mean? I'm sure he's just sweet as pie.
I do hope you are right. You hungry? Thirsty?
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna...
Go, make some friends. Go.
I have all the friends that I need. Then I'm going to walk over, give my sister a little bit of space and walk over to the opposite side of the bar. Kind of wait for the bartender.
As you begin to wait at this time, you continue with your glances, and at a moment you realize that there might just be somebody a little bit more odd than even a glowing pumpkin inside this tavern. You have a wide variety of different people, of course, the locals being oddities and oddballs in themselves, but this person catches your eye kind of in the background of the actual tavern, almost blending in with the natural kind of mist that begins to kind of speckle and kind of roll against the window pane of the windows. At this time, can I ask for HP to describe your character to the group?
Yes.
So, in the back towards the window, you see a drow in a veiled sun hat. The dark red eyes piercing even through this veil. And they are just sitting, staring and waiting. No drink, no sign of food, nothing. They perked up when the pumpkin man had mentioned a fungal condition, but other than that, she's just been sitting. You can see that her hair is long and unkempt, peeking out past this sun hat's veil. You can see that her clothes and fingernails are dirty. Overall, she seems not to take very good care of herself, just based on first glances. And what little skin you can see that is exposed is very, very pale, even for a drow.
As you find a residency next to the window at this time, you notice the several individuals across the bar at this moment, and for our individual who is waiting in the barkeep, That barkeep returns and kind of leans over the table at this time towards you at this moment. The barkeep kind of giving a glance over at this moment looks like as follows. As you kind of get a chance to kind of get a glimpse at the face of this individual, you can see somebody who has a mildew hue face. You can see kind of at this time as well that the face looks to kind of look like leather when it comes to the consistency of it. You can see an earring that kind of hangs off of the right side of the face, as well as one on the nose, and he is chewing on what looks to be a bit of swamp root, something that kind of has a smell the more you chew. As he kind of leans over this time and goes, "What can I get you?"
Drink.
Okay, a drink. Would you like something hard? Would you like something a little bit more tame on the tongue?
Let's go with hard.
I like the way that you order. As he begins to go down, he pulls out this bottle of what looks to be this brownish liquid. It looks to be thick, almost the consistency of like a cacao milk. As he begins to pour it into a bowl, you notice that it kind of sits into the bowl, and he almost like puts it through this kind of mesh, this kind of metallic mesh. As you can see, bits of herbs and spices and leaves kind of get caught in the mesh as just that liquid goes down. The consistency of olive oil at this time. It smells of the swamp as he slides it over and goes, "Is it your first time here at the Swamp Dweller?"
Yes. I am here on business.
Business? What type of business?
I'm gonna like open up my coat and I'm gonna show him the emblem of Tyr. I am an inquisitor. It seems that you have some sort of issue in this place. Some sort of act that is devouring children and livestock.
You must have heard some of the stories then.
That is why I'm here. And I'm gonna go into my pocket. Do I have an idea how much this would cost?
For the services of potentially cleansing this area of that issue?
No, just for the drink.
The drink is on the house, since it's your first time here.
Well, I'm gonna pull out a gold coin, and I'm gonna put it on the bar, and kind of like slam it down. This buys me truth, so I'd like to purchase it from you, and I'll slide it to him.
He looks down at it. You can see he kind of grabs in his hand, and you see his eyes kind of glisten this hazel color. As he looks at him and goes, "They say that the truth is worth the silver, but it looks like you'll get the real one with this." As he kind of tucks it into his pocket, and he goes, "There have been some people who are missing from the area. I'm pretty sure that news has made it beyond the bogs of the swamp. But it's the fear of what might actually be causing it is what is causing a little bit of mayhem here at the Dweller, but also in the cities of Dimlight up north. People think that there's some type of undead beast, whether it's a hag or whether it's some type of monstrosity deep inside the woods, deep inside the swamp. The only place that I can think about where this thing might be hiding, or where many of the missings have kind of begun, is at the Bell Cemetery. There's stories of it being cursed by somebody making a deal or something with some type of power, but there's something true about this one. That's something that my mother used to tell me to make sure that I would be inside the hut before dusk. But there's something in there that's making the dead twitch in their grave." You can see he kind of glances and he kind of points beyond you and goes, "Things like that." As you can see his finger directly pointing at that individual who was back against that window pane across from you. But I think that it's worse than that.
How fortunate for you. I enjoy my job. And I intend to do it well. Miss Bell's cemetery. Where would I find it?
It's not far, especially from here. You're looking at 2 hours north. Just make sure that you follow the trails and do not get off of them, no matter what says to say so. Just follow the trail all the way there, and you'll see the cemetery and you'll see the house. Supposedly, that's the place where everyone has been going missing. And if you are really interested in this, and you're not just one of the travelers looking for a little bit of conversation, that gentleman's been throwing out these business cards. You can see he has a bent one in his hand and kind of tosses it to people for the past 2 hours inside this tavern. Maybe he can help you, or maybe you can use that pumpkin as bait. Chop him up a little bit.
You are quite cunning. I'm going to take the card and I'm going to look at it. And I'm going to, like, immediately turn and look right at the man that's been handing them out. Card. And I'm thinking something. I'm going to grab that drink and start drinking it.
It's disgusting.
I imagine.
It tastes like the bottom of a fryer. It has a little bit of cayenne kick to it. It has this graininess. And the only other subtle flavor besides that is that of pure alcohol. And it hits your mouth, your nose, and your body with a bit of potency that you can notice. But as that drink is down, for the individual passing out the cards, talking to this individual in front of you, you can feel the piercing eyes of somebody watching from a distance. Noticing out of your peripheral, you do see this individual at the bar who just downed a shot and is watching you from a distance as you see the barkeep begins to wipe the table and looks to pull out what looks to be this bin of fried catfish that he begins to kind of get ready and serve to plates for some of the locals who've been waiting eagerly for the famous fried catfish of the Swamp Dweller Tavern.
Well, Taylor, my friend, I must excuse myself, but it seems that we may have a customer. I hope you'll do well, my friend. And he will approach the man that has been carrying him. Hello, my good sir. How are you doing in this fine evening?
I am doing well. So you're this, I look at the card, monster hunter, right?
Yes.
And how does that go here?
Rather poorly, I might say. I am honestly running out of funds. So any job you have, I can take it. As long as it's about monster killing. I may do something on the side, but those cost extra.
Well, and what brought you here, of all places?
On my leg? This is a cherry place in the middle of nowhere. It's bound to have something. I mean, that some guy just walked in. I'm sure there are more like him out there that are friendly. So only kill those.
So you only kill the ones that are not friendly. That is quite a strange circumstance.
Hey. Okay, like the card says, I kill monsters. Monsters aren't just creatures. They are beings that choose to do evil, that harm others. Those are the ones that I kill.
You kill monsters. I'm gonna look over at my sister for a moment. I'm gonna look back at you. So you're here after the big one, the one that's scaring people all the way back to the big city. This ag that's eating cattle and children. That's what you're after.
But speaking of people that don't belong here, what is a man that has such fine clothing and probably status doing here in the middle of nowhere in these shady bar.
I am an inquisitor of the Church of Tyr. I am sought after to investigate these things and pass judgment as I see fit in these lands that are far away from
Oh,
everything. Do you have faith?
I have faith in my sword here.
So I wonder, what have you learned about the monster here?
I know it's in a cemetery. Other than that, not much.
And you're what? Waiting for someone to pay you to go handle it.
Oh, I was more waiting for me to get bored here and then make sure everyone got a business card, and then I was gonna head out.
Out to the cemetery.
Yes.
Wow. I wouldn't want you getting in my way.
Look, excuse you. Who says you're not getting in my way?
How big is your character in comparison
He's only
to my
five.
character?
He's only 5'4". Like he is fully looking up.
So I'm almost a whole like
You want a whole foot of him.
yeah, I'm like a whole gnome taller than you almost. Then you'll surely be able to handle it. I don't think you would be the optimal choice.
Come on. You said you were an inquisitor, that you. Your type looks for truth. You must know that you're not judge a book by its cover.
That I know. That I know all too well.
Well,
But I am
I mean,
curious.
Or go ahead.
I am curious. Maybe that sword does get a lot of use.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Doesn't matter what. I have a hunting partner, the pumpkin guy that works at. He is my perfect fire.
And where is your squire?
Let me go grab him really quickly. Oh, by the way, my name is Jason. It's in the card. Whoever, before I come back, if a monster shows up, you'll know who to call.
I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna like kind of chuckle to myself a little bit, and I'm gonna look at your card. I
It
am.
just says Jason, monster hunter, extraordinary tonight.
So how do we contact you if we need you?
It's a temp card. It's a temp card.
I am Inquisitor Gestal Moreau. Maybe I will see you.
Yep.
And I'll like flick your card real quick, and then I'll put it in my pocket, and I'll turn back to the bartender.
You see, he takes a glance at you and he goes one with his hand for like one more. When it came to the drink, as you see him sloshing that drink around for a potential another glass towards.
No, I'll motion for him to give me something to eat instead.
He nods as he begins to prepare what looks to be a plate of this fried catfish. These fillets that looks to be in some type of thick kind of sauce that looks almost like the slop that is the mud outside. As you're waiting on that, though, you do notice standing next to these individuals and kind of making your way out, you do see the individual by the window who is watching from a distance at this time. And you can feel those eyes on you, not in the sense of piercing eyes like lasers, but almost like this cooled kind of air that begins to flow your direction. Something that kind of brushes against your skin in a sense, almost as if the atmosphere itself is changing around you.
This is not a pleasant change.
It's not a bad one either. It seems almost like grabbing your attention when it comes to your environment. Something almost like a cool grasp when it comes to you from a distance.
I'll whisper something. Like I'll tilt my head and whisper something, and then I'll turn around and I'll start staring at that person. And I don't like certain things that seem necessarily unalive. Like I might like my face starts to like start to get like a very bad scowl on my face, and I'm just staring.
She just tilts her head at you. She doesn't say anything in response. Just a slight tilt of the head. As if she's listening very curiously to whatever's going on over there.
I'm gonna very slowly and deliberately start making my way over there, giving off this very
You just
confident.
leaving your food over there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the food over there. I'll come back to it.
The barkeep.
I'm not worried about it.
The barkeep pulls up this tray and turns and just watches you walk away as he just puts it down for you. But yes, each step that you do, you can hear the floorboards creak, almost like a pounding drum of your weight as you begin to make your way over there at this time. You even notice a few people kind of sitting at their stools, kind of looking, kind of scoot out the way for you to kind of continue, almost intimidated in a sense as you begin to make your way over.
Yeah, I'm trying to be pretty intimidating to
working.
others. I want to use thaumaturgy and like really like kind of like dim the lights around where I'm going to arrive as I get there. And are you like sitting at a table?
Yeah, I'm not just like standing in the corner Blair Witching or anything like that. I'm sitting by the window.
I'm gonna put like both my hands on the table and I'm gonna like lean over it, get in front of you. Whatever it is you want, I suggest you put words to those stairs before I start making them up for you. And I have a very terrible imagination.
Interesting. I simply heard you discussing the undead in the swamp. I am curious about those, but I feel as though I cannot go on my own.
And what do you want of me?
I would like to assist if you are to take the journey out there.
Sister! I'm gonna turn to my sister. You wanted I make friends.
Oh, you made a friend?
Seems as if I cannot help myself here.
This character doesn't laugh, but I want to laugh.
And then I'll get kind of in the middle of the room. And I'll say, like kind of out loud to everyone, So, I have been here for nearly hours. And already I found enough people that want to go out and solve your problem for you. You all care so little for yourselves. This is what you have. Be grateful that Tyr has seen it within his might to grant me the authority to be here, to rid you of your problems and of your fears.
At this moment, you see a few people kind of glancing your direction, some of them with faces of approval, some of them kind of a little bit still intimidated by you. But you do hear a clap that comes from a few stools away from the individual that you know so well. You can see this individual begins to clap and goes, I agree! Thank you! As you can see that kind of going into his bag, he begins to throw what looks to be these small wooden coins. You can tell these are not really worth anything. But he begins to kind of throw them your direction in excitement as everyone else just kind of looks and kind of begins to roll back to what they're doing. But you can see this individual looks enthusiastic and ecstatic for the potential goodness that you might do for a place like this.
I'll look at them. And I'll start walking over. You mock me with wooden coins.
Come on, man.
Well,
Fine.
they are coins. They're my coins.
Your coins mean what?
Well, what I do with them is I use them to buy drinks here, and the bartender Melvin he accepts them. I have numbers on them, and he begins to kind of show you his coins, and they're all actually stamped 1, 2, 3, so I know how many I have left. I make them at home out of the tree outside my hut.
Jason will pick one of those coins up.
That's number 7. That's coin 7. Just to let you know.
Lucky number 7.
Is that not enough coins? I haven't been able to make too much. But I mean, the more I can bring it. If you're able to get rid of whatever monsters is killing people out there inside that Bell Cemetery, right?
I look at the coins again. And I'm just like annoyed at the circumstance. Save your coin. The benefit of being on divine mandate is the luxury of beheading such a monster.
What's that mean?
That means I do not want your coin.
Are you sure? I mean, it literally grows on trees. I can always get more.
I do not want it. What I want is truth. So if you've got some of that, it is worth more than these coins.
Well, he begins to kind of look at you at this time, realizing the size of you at this moment, as you've gotten closer and closer to him. At this moment, he goes, well, what do you want to know? I have lots of truth.
About this entity in the cemetery. That is what I want to know.
Oh, I don't know what you've heard about all the lip yapping from everyone else inside here, but I don't think it's some hag. I think that it's somebody who is just high on some of the fumes of the swamp and all the sulfur, and is just making up these stories. I think personally it's some type of arcane mage or somebody who has some type of dark powers or something like that. Personally, I don't think it's some hag or some witch or something like that.
When I hear dark powers, I'm gonna look to my sister.
She's staring.
You guys know each other? Sorry, I'm just gonna let you guys have that moment as he kind of just sits there looking back and forth at the two of you.
I'm gonna start like looking to myself. I'm gonna grab my food. I'm gonna offer some to my sister.
I'm good. I'm gonna go talk to the pumpkin man and the creepy lady.
As you wish. I do not encourage trusting them so much.
You and your trust.
I start eating.
You begin to eat this time, and it's delicious. I mean, it's a little bit of a swampy taste to it, but it's not bad, actually. Compared to the beverage that you had, this place may be known, rightfully so, for their catfish fillets. It's actually quite good. Maybe something to even write home about for some individuals at this time. As you begin to approach at this time, though, you notice the pumpkin individual. You notice the individual who is pressed against the window pane, kind of glancing from a distance, and company around this area. What do you do at this time, or any conversations that you have as we are inside that Swamp Dwelling Tavern today? What's about to happen?
I definitely wanted to approach the pumpkin dude after he finished talking with Jason. Hello.
Hello.
I couldn't help but notice the,
Fungal condition.
Oh, it's a fungal condition.
I mean, I haven't been checked out by a physician officially.
Well, I happen to be a physician. Could I? Maybe I could have a look.
Please. I'll take down my hood ever so slightly.
You see a pumpkin exterior. You notice that this flame that flickers inside has this arcane element to it, almost like it is a mist in itself. The outlines of the flames don't have that sharp kind of plasma kind of flow, but instead now has almost like this loose mist vibe as it begins to kind of dissipate before it even kind of forms, as that is something that you notice seeing this individual up close.
Interesting. Oh, I'm gonna do the visual inspection, which I did. Then I guess I will, just poke the pumpkin. Does it feel like a normal pumpkin?
Firm?
Connor, that's up to you.
Is it firm?
It's a pretty normal pumpkin.
It's a hollow gourd as you tap, tap, tap at this moment.
Interesting. Does this hurt? And she just presses her nail a little bit against it.
Oh. I definitely feel it.
Interesting.
Please go.
This is definitely not a physical ailment.
You're saying it's not a fungus?
I mean, if the fungus was cursed, maybe.
First
Why do you say
fungus.
that? Cursed fungus.
Yeah, this doesn't happen naturally. I would know.
Well, do you know of any remedies?
Oh, a remedy for a curse that turns your head into a pumpkin. Can't say I do.
Yeah, I mean, surely you've seen something similar to this.
Similar? No. No, can't say I have. I have seen curses before, though. So I do know that curses are typically curable.
What kind of cure are we talking about?
Hmm. Magical ritual, magical potion, magical spell, and that should undo the curse. It should put you back to what are you normally?
Underneath all this squash, I'm a half elf.
Right, right. Indubitably. Um, yeah, just some form of curse removal should maybe help. The curse might be too strong for some things, but something will cure it for sure. No way how to help you though. I'm a people doctor.
Well, I like to think that I'm still a person.
Well, I mean, this part isn't
Lord.
person. I'm not a plant doctor, you know?
Well, I don't see myself as that either. I
Well,
it's-
unfortunately, you've been cursed to be part plant.
You are a gourd.
Looking up and down at you at this time, Conoric describe, do you look any different below the neck? Or are we talking
And
All-
how far
all-
below the neck?
all gourd, no skin? Like, what's going on here? Like, give us a description of what's visible at this time.
I
If
think
it's just that head, that's pumpkin.
I think it's all pumpkin all the time. Like, I
Oh.
think it's a like.
I don't
you know,
like the implication.
Oh my god.
It's
So,
straight
like-
gourd.
When you take it out, right? Does it like bang against stuff? Like, have you ever dropped a gourd on a table? Because I have, and I imagine
It's got some echo to it.
it's got some echo to it.
Yeah, I think he's got some echo.
Okay, got some motion. As you guys are having this conversation, anything else you guys are talking about or doing at this time?
Do you know of anyone who has the magic? I'll look over to the lady in the window. She seems kind of magical now.
Oh, definitely.
I lack the capability.
Oh, you are.
Oh. There's your answer.
Well,
Still, this is interesting.
I
You're
like to be rid of it.
yeah, I can't imagine. Do you eat?
I do. It definitely doesn't feel the same.
I can imagine.
You eat pumpkin?
Do
Would that be cannibalism?
Yeah, that's.
I haven't tried it yet. If I'm gonna be honest.
Like, have you craved pumpkin ever since your change?
I've never craved pumpkin ever.
Curious.
Please tell me if you start to. I don't want us to have any sort of situation here.
I do not crave.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's how you break the curse. You eat what you become, you know?
You are what you eat. Perhaps you need a half elf.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Surely there's something else I can try before eating someone.
I mean, eating a pumpkin. That could help you.
Well, this is a long shot. Barkeep, have any pumpkin?
He kind of looks at you and just begins to burst laughing as he actually kind of falls back and he goes, there's no pumpkin here, but we do have fried catfish. But if you want, we do have stews also.
I'm good, thanks though.
I'm confused.
Hey, so,
Do you have like tiny little pepper-looking fingers?
Yeah, they're like pumpkins, but smaller, thinner.
They're mini gourds.
Are you wearing gloves to conceal them?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Literally the only part that can be seen would be his little pumpkin head.
It's just a
Put that
mask.
away, man. You're in a public place.
Yeah.
It's just an enchanted mask. That's all.
Yeah, just a mask. At this time, as you guys begin to spend the next 10 to 15 or so minutes getting to kind of loosen conversation up with each other at this time, more drinks are being passed around and offered if anyone would like to drink any. But as you guys are settling a little bit more into the Swamp Dweller Tavern, anything else that you guys do or plans or any conversations at this time in this establishment?
yes, Jason would try to buy something with his wooden coin. See if the barkeep would take it.
Refused.
Only this
Perfect.
guy gets the special privilege.
It's only even coins today.
Damn it.
Lucky number 7 isn't so lucky, it looks like.
Then he would approach Balin. Be like, hey, friends, right?
We've spoken
Acquaintance.
once.
I mean, that's the beginning of a long-lasting friendship. So, you said you were willing to go help me kill monsters, right?
Well, sure.
Great, because that tall fella over there is kind of intimidating. And when we were, exchanging verbal jabs at each other, I kind of said you were my squire. So, like, would you be willing to help me?
You said we could be friends?
Yes, friends. No, I mean, when I said squire, like, you don't need to actually do anything. Just walk alongside us when we, go kill the hag.
Well, absolutely. Where are we headed?
So small.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to the cemetery.
Ooh, a cemetery.
Thank you so much. I'll buy you a beer after this if you'll drink. I don't know how your whole situation is.
My,
Would that not rot his pumpkin head?
this is all still kind of new for me. It just might.
I wonder if he becomes edible in a hot enough room.
Please don't eat me. Please.
Let us go then.
Do you bleed?
We will find out.
Why did you say that? I'm getting nervous.
Sir!
Jason, what are you getting me into? You said we were friends.
About to get jumped
Yeah,
in the
we're
woods,
friends.
buddy.
I don't know about
That
that.
is squashed. At this time, who has agreed to go on this expedition with each other, and then who plans on not going at all?
Jason is
I
going.
plan on, I plan to go because I would like to kind of see what's out there and investigate. And if this starts, like, I'm starting to pick up that people are having just random ideas as to what this thing is, might mean that it's just someone being crazy and not necessarily something beyond normal problems. Like, I'm not thinking it's some sort of cosmic entity or anything like that, or something as powerful as a hag. One person thinks it's just a wizard, and the other person thinks it could be anything, or some sort of dark pact or something. Then I'm getting the impression that nobody really knows what's going on. So I'm a little bit more confident in being able to go out there. So I will go.
I haven't said so, but I'm following my brother.
I'm tagging along with them because I want to go out into the swamp.
Well, I was gonna talk to you last. And invite you anyway.
Your brother extended the invitation when he approached.
Yeah, he likes to act all intimidating and stuff, but he just wants friends.
He's intriguing.
As there's this stationary glare as you guys begin to make your guys' way out of the main doorway in this area. At this time, we are going to transition over to our next line. In this encounter, in this area, we begin to make our way deeper and deeper into the swamp. For time frame, we have already been going for about an hour. This time, we've been able to have small talk, awkward conversations in between, especially for those that have just met each other less than a day. We begin to walk through this thick marsh muck. And at this time, I'm going to ask everybody to do their first rolls of the campaign with a D100 roll for me. Oh, yes. No D20s yet. We're going to save those for when we want it, you know? 38
Hell yeah, let's go.
Stall 38.
Let's do it.
You just had to one-up me, didn't you? Didn't you, John?
Gosh. I love it.
Well, Phelan, just one.
Well,
Yeah,
great.
mine's strong.
with a
Everybody
38,
rolled.
61, 39, 56, and Palin with a 91. During this time of travel, you guys begin to make your way deeper and deeper into this swampland and closer towards this location. Palin, as you're going, you hear a faint whisper, almost inaudible when it comes to the voice. And glancing off towards your right, you see a flickering beacon of light. You see that it is not glowing in the air, but it's glowing just above the muck line of the dirt, grime, and soil. Noticing through the darkness, you can see that with this luminescent light, you can see what looks to be a small object that is perched perfectly on what looks to be a branch that is bent and outstretched. That is something that you notice about 25 yards away. That's what you see. What do you do?
I'll call this out. Oh, I think I see something out there, and I'll start to head towards it.
You begin to approach, and you notice that this is a lantern. And this lantern is what looks to be situated on a small rock that is just above the water line, very unnaturally in its placements. You notice that this lantern is burning with a flickering flame and looks to have a small oil compartment on there that is beginning to burn. Out here in the middle of the swamp, this is something that could be left by a trapper or a hunter, but something in your pumpkin seeds begin to shiver. Something seems odd. You notice that hanging off the branch is a small object, no bigger than 3 inches long, and about an inch in width. You can see that it's made out of bits of branch and thatch that's wrapped tightly with loose vines. It looks to be in resemblance of a humanoid with their arms stretched out and their legs pressed together. You can see that there's a little bit of paint, but without getting any closer, that's all you can see.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna leave. I don't like that not one bit.
You turn around at this time again to kind of move your way through. The party seeing him kind of walk off to the side and then return. Is there anything you say as you return to the party?
Nope. That's there's a witch out here. That's a witch thing. Little twig thing. That is not something we should investigate.
You say this out towards... well, you don't say this at all. You don't say anything as you reapproach towards the party at this time. Do you guys begin to continue deeper? Is there anything else you guys do around this area at this time?
Can we tell he looks a little shaken, or is his pumpkin face not giving much in the way of expressions?
Did you cry?
I think it's pretty one face, one little pumpkin face. I don't think
Awesome.
there's much emotion. Pumpkin puree. I think he's just kind of like perma smiling. Like he's always
Love
just
it.
looking kind of happy. So
Love
he
it.
looked great. he's loving it.
Have you found something interesting in your wandering off?
I mean, I don't know about interesting, but there's for sure like a hag. There's something nasty out here. They're leaving little
Curious.
totems.
At this moment, I'll ask for you to give me a perception check at this moment. First D20 roll of the campaign. No
Oh,
pressure.
boy.
I believe in you. It's going to be a high number.
11. Higher than 10.
That is true. Higher than 10.
Above average.
A lot higher than 1. There it is.
Hell yeah.
You feel a chill kind of go in amongst your hair and towards your cheek as you hear a disembodied voice that for you, you're the only one who can hear at this moment besides your sister. You hear this voice begin to kind of quietly whisper in your ear, "He has risen. He rises. He rises." That's what the voice says.
Like I'm like gripping my hands, and like you can see like the veins starting to pop out. Like I'm really upset at what's I just heard.
I take my shoes off. I tie up my hair. I button up my my cardigan.
As you
I
do
look
this,
like I'm ready to run.
Oh yeah.
This cannot be. This. Try not. And I start like going faster towards the cemetery.
They are behaving strangely. And I follow along. Despite it.
Yeah, I'm very clearly angry at the moment.
With this anger that begins to kind of fuel with you at this time, you all notice something as well. The more you guys travel into the next 15 to 20 or so minutes through this dense swamp, the swamp itself opens into a clearing with a hill that is visible through the sponge-soaked type of soil. The land that looks to be of a cemetery, forgotten and decaying in the swamps, looks to be up ahead. A place where the bodies are sunken below this thick sponge type of ground. Iron gates and fencing are rusted through, with only some sections of the posts that are visible in sight. Graves are scattered, with some being buried with feet of vegetation and weeds, where others poke into an area that looks to be more raised, almost as if they've been dug up. You notice also at this time that there's a haunting house that looks to be on top of this hill. One that has a creakiness to it. And without getting closer, with the fog beginning to roll, you can't make out much detail. And as you're approaching this area, you get the eerie sense that despite the fog that has danced around the tavern, this fog seems thick This fog seems stagnant. It rolls, but within itself. It doesn't seem to move with the wind. It doesn't go with the rain that begins to pitter and patter against the ground at this time. That is something you guys see at this moment. What do you guys do?
How close are we to the gate of the cemetery, or
A
the
distance.
entrance to the
You
cemetery?
guys have about 50 yards till you're there, but you're able to just see kind of the silhouettes of some of these areas. As you can see old fence foundations that you've passed, as the property line has shrunk more and more and more over perhaps the decades or centuries that this place has been a thing.
I look to grab something. I look like I grab something off my shoulder, and I whisper something, or like I'm looks like I'm talking into my fist, and then I just chuck something as far forward as I can throw it, and I'm still just making my way out there.
All right. As you begin to approach more and more at this time, seeing this for those that are around, is there anything you guys say or do at this moment?
I'm just following along curiously. There's not really much to it other than that. I'm interested.
Are there any more of those little totem things scattered around?
Give me a perception check. And then just for you as well, give me a perception check as well at this time. Palin with a 16, you look around and you notice amongst the outskirts of some of the tree branches, you notice some of the silhouettes of similar trinkets that hang from the trees. But another thing that you notice, and just you notice this as well looking ahead, some of the tombstones have been wiped with what looks to be a reddish liquid or a reddish substance, and it looks to be swayed from this and this, almost in like a serpent-like formation across some of the tombstones.
You said it's a red substance?
Yeah, without getting too close, you can tell that it's some type of reddish-brown substance.
I'd like to get too close. Is it blood?
Welcome to the too closeness. It is indeed blood. As you look, you can see this blood has been smeared with bits of dirt, grime, and grit. Almost like having kind of grounded up coffee, as it's kind of been rubbed against it at this time.
Can I tell if it's a religious symbol, or maybe some sort of worship of something?
Yeah, if you want to go the religion route, let's do a religion check, and then for Pal,
Yeah.
anything for you as well.
I'll just call this out to everyone.
You call this out to everyone at this time, and as we'll get to your roll in a sec. For everybody else, is there anything you guys do or explore in this area as well after Palin has announced some of these oddities in this area?
I mean, I can try for religion too, but I'm better with nature or survival or medicine. Can I see how old the blood is?
Sure. Give me a medicine check on that, and then for Joy, anything going on?
I
for you
2
at this
GM'd
time?
that.
That's
Whoops.
good. That's still a good roll.
There's a lot of trees around, so I kind of want to just get a better vantage point to see if I can see past the fog.
Yeah. You begin to climb up one of the trees at the time. Feel free to give a perception check, as we'll start with Justal's roll with that religion check at this time. You look, and you can tell that this doesn't look to be a common symbol. It's something that, for you, and kind of having a little bit of background, it kind of just looks like somebody's wiped blood across some of these tombstones. There doesn't look to be any symbolism when it comes to some of the common religions based on that roll.
Okay.
Now with our medicine check at this time, you can tell that this blood is probably 1 to 2 days old. It's not ancient. It's not bloody fresh either. And there is a kind of scent to it that does not smell of humanoid. That's something that you could tell based on that roll. And then for our friend in the tree at this time, looking ahead, you can see the silhouette of the house on top of the hill. You can see some of the tombstones in the stagnant fog. But the farther you look back, that mist that you can see seems to just kind of continue off into the distant willow trees and the crooked oak trees that kind of sprout out of the ground at this time. No hiding of a group of bandits or a loose bugbear. Nothing that is extremely, threatening in the nearby area besides your small birds, insects, lizards, and small fish that begin to kind of loop their way around some of the tadpoles and the lily pads of the area.
In that case, are there any signs of people, like tracks or anything?
Nothing that you can see. You don't see any signs of tracks or any sign of any residency on the outskirts of this area at this time.
Yeah, this place is odd. This fog is way too thick and way too stagnant. Like, there's definitely some dark magic going on around here. Somewhere.
Curious.
Is it familiar? Do you recognize it?
No. If it's him, he's not alone.
Well, let's make sure he is disturbed then. I'm gonna start walking towards the house.
Okay. Anybody else joins at this time?
I'm following.
I'll also follow.
All right.
Yep.
Then at this time, you begin to approach this property. The bell house looms in the shadows in front of you as you begin to inch closer and closer at this time. As you approach more, you notice something catches your eye from the porch. Dozens of candles that litter the front porch of the property that have been melted down to their nubs. The smell of rotten decay as the siding and shingles begin to hang on for dear life is something that you notice with the property. These look old and distant. These candles could be as recent as a few years to as old as a few decades. Doesn't look to be relatively new. You hear a faint whining of the wind as it howls through some of those loose shingles, and you hear the sound of chimes and potentially trinkets that begin to kind of glisten and shimmer from the nearby trees. You notice the front porch and the front door is covered in blood as well. This one looking to be a big kind of S-shaped symbol that is visible on the door. In addition to that, you can see that there is a head of an animal that is placed right at the doorstep. It looks to be that of a raven that sits there at this time.
Does
Birdie.
do the
What?
clusters seem to be in the same pattern? Like, are they defined or is it just smeared?
This looks to be more detailed than the smears. They are the same symbol. They all look to be kind of like this S-like snake pattern. However, for this one, it actually looks like somebody has taken, whether it is a brush or something, to properly kind of put the detail. The other ones look like somebody took their palm and just wiped. This looks to be a little bit more detailed, more refinements when it comes to the lines.
Does anyone know anything about killing ravens and smearing blood?
No.
Sure, there's plenty of dark rituals where you sacrifice creatures and do draw weird symbols with blood. Um, most rituals like that are just for asking for what you want. So it's really just dependent on the caster.
So hypothetically, you could do one of these rituals and ask for, let's say, like a curse to be removed. That would be within the realm of things you could ask for.
Oh yes, but you'd probably end up making a deal with like a devil or an eldritch horror or a witch, and they would be doing that for you in return for something.
Okay.
This
well,
is what the bartender had said.
Well, maybe we should go in.
Perhaps we
Agreed.
should.
I'm gonna hold out my hand like straight to the right, and then you're gonna hear just kind of like almost like a roar, but like it's like if it was like coming from like a cave or something, and the position kept shifting. And then from that, I am going to make a very big axe appear in my hand. This axe is ugly looking. This axe is long, its edges are jagged, it's more like fangs than it does a blade. And inside the head of the axe, you'll be able to see traces of like a maze on two sides of it, kind of all trying to lead towards this one fixated eye. And every now and again, you'll see it almost breathe as the path within the mazes start to lighten up like molten steel.
Your weapon appears to have a face.
I find if you look at something long enough, you can always see something setting back. Was a monster hunter. Shouldn't he be breaking down the door?
Sure. Very
I'm
well.
gonna walk out to the door with him.
I
I'll
mean,
knock.
we don't know if anything bad has actually happened. What if, I don't know,
Yeah, what if it's a sweet old lady that comes through the door? And all this is just to scare people away.
And she should have done a better job to communicate it.
She got this blood from somewhere. That is enough to be guilty of something.
kind of smells like pig's blood to me.
Pig's blood.
Yeah.
That would explain the cattle reports of the livestock being taken.
Oh yeah, I guess they are technically a criminal anyway. They did steal cattle. That's fair.
Rustler.
Alright, I'm gonna walk up to the door. I'm gonna put my back against it, and I'm gonna like watch my sister and wait for our monster hunter.
Yeah.
You can see?
Sorry?
There's a map?
Yeah, it should. Be good.
Right here,
Oh, there it is.
the bottom part.
Mine's all
I
dark
just-
as well.
Gotcha. Should be good.
Perfect.
I didn't have access to my token, I think, but he fixed it.
Yeah, should be focused now over there. You approach that area, and that is that small porch as you are in that spot at the current time. What you see are two front doors. Both of them have that smear that goes across both, so it's one large S. The doors are made of wood, and there seems to be a old, rustic kind of iron lock that seems to have the door that's closed. It's an internal lock, your typical door type of lock.
Jason will knock. See if anyone answers.
Your knock sounds as if you are knocking on a soft sponge. Despite the door being wood, there seems to be no echo or vibration across the door. It almost seems muted as you begin to tap against the wood.
Soggy.
Well, I tried the polite way. He's gonna try to kick the door open.
My man, give me a strength check. Let's see it. With your foot kicking the door, you can actually feel the wood bend, almost like a loose napkin, as it begins to kind of slap open at this time. As that does open, the door kicks to the side with a squeak as it gets stuck on a thick bit of muck. The door opens, revealing the interior of a foyer. Without stepping in yet, I'll just give you a brief description. The foyer smells of must and age. Mosquitoes swirl around what looks to be a large puddle on the middle of the floor. There's a fireplace off to your right. Around that fireplace, you see portraits or paintings, both of them with these old ancient frames, but all covered in thick purple and black paint. There are what looks to be very fine designs that are painted over it, but that is what you see over there. At the northern section, you do see two doors made out of wood up there at that time. That is what you see.
Jason will turn around and be like, "Hey, no one entered this yet. Okay, I have some experience with the kind of things. It might be booby trapped, so let's throw something heavy in the room. Let's make sure that it's clear." And he's going to kick the door that is on the ground so it slides up. In case there are any pressure plates or anything, they are triggered.
Yeah. Nothing seems to happen at that time.
Well, he's gonna enter.
The floorboards give a soggy bend and give as you walk in, and what you see is just what we described earlier. You see that fireplace, painted over portraits, and at the end of this foyer, across that mosquito-riddled puddle in the middle of the foyer, are two doors that looks to go deeper into the house.
Things seems to be fine, guys. Let's walk in.
I'm going to let everyone else in and make sure I cover the back.
I'm gonna go ahead and take my quarterstaff off my back and go ahead and tap around the floor.
You begin to tap, and you just feel that soggy, sticky, spongy substance when it comes to the floor at this time, but nothing else at this moment.
All the windows are boarded up and stuff, right?
Yeah, they look to be boarded from the inside.
Even upstairs?
Even upstairs. As you take a glance up, you can see that there are these almost like perfectly placed wooden panels that go across. And then some of them still having that glass of the original window pane, some of them not, as the environment and nature has destroyed some of that.
What is it, Marie?
Oh, nothing. Let's just make this quick.
As for those that are moving amongst the foyer at this time, is there anything you guys do? And then for Palin up there, is there anything that you're doing on the outside, watching the fog begin to roll across the graves as well at this time? We notice the fog begins to roll as for Jason, you're next to the doors of the interior of the house. Gray, you made your way inside as well. What do you guys do at this time?
Jason will try to open the door, see if it's unlocked.
The door is unlocked. Would you like to open it?
We'll open it.
Okay. As the door is open, these with less of a push and resistance reveals what looks to be a large open area of the main hall. This main hall is caked with dust, well over a few inches that cakes the ground as well as any flat surface. But it is somewhat well kept as the walls themselves seem to have some structure to them. You see a doorway up here. You see a doorway here. And several other doorways throughout the house, as well as a large spiral staircase that ascends. Another thing that you notice is off here to the left, you can see that there is a fireplace as well that has what looks to be ashes of a purple-like wood that is visible as well.
Wait, he's going to look at and be like, hey, well, ladies first. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. We weren't formally introduced.
Gray.
I'm great. Ladies first, or do we make you go?
Very well. And I'm gonna tap my stick to make sure that I'm not stepping on any, traps or tripwires or anything like that before I go through.
Yeah. Tapping around, you do not see anything, but what you do see is that large spiral staircase that ascends, a doorway in the southern section, 2 doorways up here, and then what looks to be 2 doorways up here as well.
You will find no traps when you enter this room. None that are immediately obvious. It seems we have a great variety of choices.
Looking around at this time, what do you guys do?
Should we open one of these doors?
We'll wait.
As all of you guys approach inside this main hall together, seeing a staircase that ascends, and then also seeing some of these doorways at this time. There's an eeriness and ominous feeling inside this area as the smell of the dust that has been stagnant for who knows how long begins to get kicked up with your footprints as you begin to move around this area. That kind of tickles amongst the nose, causing a little bit of irritation at this time.
Luis, does it seem like there's been any footprints down here at all?
Give me a perception check. See if you can glance at any that are in the nearby area.
13.
13. You do notice that there are faint footprints that seem to go into all the doorways. Up here, up the stairs, and into various rooms. There look like there have been people inside this area. Something that is odd. Another thing you notice is they look to be shoes. They don't look to be bare feet. Something that you notice as well. Not boots, though, but shoes.
Curious.
They are not soldiers. They are not common folk. And only the nobility wear footwear. It's like this.
I try the door.
Ooh.
I'm getting impatient. I try the door.
Yeah. As you crack open that door, this is what you see. You see an area that looks to be that of a lounge, maybe where back in the day visitors may have stayed. Inside, you see that there's a fireplace. You see that there are two overstuffed cushions that are on these couches that have, looks to be furs that have been made into blankets. A small coffee table, two cabinets, and a poker table off to the bottom left. But the one thing you do notice as well is these three taxidermied wolves that are kind of curled over in a snarled-like look. They look to be stationary. They look to have been preserved, perhaps maybe from hunters. The reason why you may get that idea is a large stag head that is above the fireplace. Something that you notice at this time.
Okay, this place reminds me of home for sure.
I immediately run in the room after her to see what she's talking about.
You walk in and see that same type of visuals when you enter.
It does. They look like wolves, right?
Give me an investigation check. I'm glad that you asked that.
Ooh, 5.
With a 5, you glance over and look at these taxidermied beasts and creatures. Kind of looks like a wolf. The face looks a little different, but from your perspective, it looks like a wolf to you. But it looks...
Gray is also looking at these things more for the curiosity of the thing rather than, specifics of it. But with a close look, can I see what it might be?
Let's run it back with an investigation at this time. And then as you're doing that, for Jason and for Palin, anything that you are up to at this moment?
I guess I'll go on as well.
As you enter, you kind of see that same kind of aesthetic. You see 3 of these wolf-like creatures. You see the cabinets, and you see those areas of seating. With 10, though, with investigation, you notice that the faces look stretched. You can see that the wolves themselves look like there's patches that have been put together of different types of fur and skin from perhaps different wolves that have kind of been sewn together. You can see some of the loose stitching to make this wolf pelt that is made into this taxidermied creature. It does not look to be a singular wolf.
They have patched together many to make the one.
This has held up so well considering where we are.
Yes, the stitching is loose, but the moisture has not yet deteriorated it.
I don't want to make a scarf out of it.
It is made of many wolves. I doubt they will miss one.
I grab one.
Do you take the wolf, or are you trying to take off the pelt? What are you doing specifically?
I'll cut off the pelt. I'm an expert butcher.
Are you
Okay.
skinning that wolf again?
That's what doctors are, okay? They're butchers. We're in medieval times.
Herm is barber.
Back then, it was literally the title was either barber butcher, barber doctor
surgeon.
or something, barber surgeon or physician. I'm technically a physician, but butchering is also in my repertoire.
Surgery is important.
It is a shame that you do this at this time, because as you peel off this pelt, you are revealed a horrific sight from within. This taxidermied beast is indeed made out of wolf pelt on the exterior. Small bits of metallic wire of tin and bits of wood that is made to make a structure. But inside, you see what looks to be chunks of animal flesh that is not old, that has been kind of placed and festered in to kind of give it this full-bodied look. You can see that the flesh looks to be of different colors and different degrees and perhaps different species that has been kind of smushed into this. And as you do so, you see that there is a handful or two of maggots that spill out and begin to slowly squiggle against the grains of the wood towards your feet.
Oh my god, he was here for sure.
Gross.
You should not joke about such things. He is here. That is not good for us.
Who is he?
I walk out of the room.
Excellent question answering.
Just.
Oh, I heard your question. I just walk out of the room.
No, I know. I'm saying that was a rare case of dry sarcasm.
Sorry.
I sigh when he leaves the room. It's
He
not
is
him.
not good at friends.
It's not him. He's dead. It's just a bad person of the past.
I see. Can I go ahead and start sifting through these cabinets?
Feel free to with an investigation at this time for Palin and company. Anything
Hell
else
yeah,
you guys
let's
are
go.
doing inside this area?
If you see anything like medical supplies, I'll take those.
I will make a note of that.
Or anything interesting on this table? Like,
Yeah. As you glance over at the table, here's what you see currently on the table. You see that there is a small tea kettle. You see that there are small teacups as well, and a letter opener that is made out of silver. That silver letter opener is worth 2 gold pieces.
oh, pick it up.
You pick that up. That can also be used as a dagger that is silvered as well, just to let you know.
Is there anything with the fireplace?
Give me an investigation. And as you're doing that, we'll go back to that investigation for you, Gray. As you look over there, you see inside this cabinet the following items. You see that there is a set of playing cards. You can see that they are ancient, but they are familiar as well. These look to have the insignia of a nearby casino in the marshlands, one that is extremely popular, extremely famous. It is called the Diamond Casino. It is a casino that's been around the area for well over centuries, maybe at least a century and a half. It's a place that many people go to gamble and whatnot. And they do sell these cards as well over the past few decades. In addition to that, though, you also find a dice set, and you find a small metallic device that has a singular white opening. Next to that, there is a button that looks to be mechanical that you can press to the right of it.
I'm just gonna stick all of this stuff in my bag for now. We'll figure out the mysterious button box later.
For sure. For our friend Palin at the fireplace. Looking around the fireplace at this time, you notice inside there are several frames, similar to the portrait seen in the foyer, that are charred and scorched from flame. They are all kind of broken up and brittle in the backside of the fireplace, almost discarded back there. Maybe the remains of a fire. They look to be relatively old, well over months to years old, but that is something that you notice.
If I stick my pumpkin head into the fireplace, which probably isn't a good idea.
I believe in you.
I am the fireplace now. If I look up the chimney, anything up there?
You look up.
Yeah.
And you notice that there's a hanging body from a noose that is hanging within the chimney.
Ooh.
And you can hear the creaking of the rope. For Gestal, this is the creaking that you have heard earlier. It is beginning to kind of sway almost in an inanimate way at this time.
Okay. Do I see where the rope is attached anywhere?
You can see from within that this looks to be an individual who is hanging probably about 5 feet above the fireplace opening. And you can see the rope goes up, and it looks to be hanging from what looks to be a loosened bit of pipe that has been perfectly wedged between the shafts of the fireplace. Not by accident. That looks to have been placed there.
So, would I be able to reach the rope with a weapon?
So he's about 5 feet away. So if you have something that's 10 feet, you can reach the rope.
I don't believe I do. Anything about like the dress of this individual?
The person's naked. There's no clothes on at all. There's no signs of damage when it comes to like physical exterior wounds. You cannot see the face and shoulders though, since it is up the shaft. But from the toes to mid torso, everything looks to just be there hanging about.
Okay, so this is a totally different scene now. Yeah.
Should have added that from the beginning. You're right.
All right.
Because that was the first thing he would have seen.
Well.
Is that a gourd? That's what you see, though.
Okay.
Is that a gourd?
That is what I see. Okay. Anything in the... You said there were like the busted up frames and stuff in the fireplace. If I sift through that, is that anything else in there or just all that?
You look, and besides the bits of picture frame that remains, there's not much else. The only thing that you can see is if you, based on your investigation, the edges of the picture frame still has a little bit of the cloth when it comes to the actual paintings or portraits. They look to have been painted over in purple as well, similar to what you guys have seen in the foyer.
Okay. So, fellas, there's a dead naked man in the air.
Is there?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take a peek.
Take a look. I'm gonna back up a lot.
I'm gonna take my quarterstaff and poke at it so that he can fall down.
Like a pinata, as you tap away at this time against the body. The body sways and begins to move. As it begins to sway, you can see that the back and upper chest is caked in what looks to be soot from the fireplace.
Can I reach the pole that's holding him up with my quarterstaff?
How long is your quarterstaff?
Probably standard quarterstaff size. I don't know how big they are in Dungeons and Dragons.
Around 5 feet, usually.
Yeah.
That should be enough to kind of whack away. Are you trying to break the rope? Or are you trying to...
I'm trying to get him down whatever way I can with the quarterstaff.
Yeah. Give me a dexterity check to see if you can kind of bat it around and see if you can wiggle that bar to make it fall. Because it is very loosely put. With an 11,
that is a solid 11.
It'll take a minute. I mean, you're kind of whacking them a little bit. It's kind of, ooh, sorry, you know. But in a moment, you're able to whack, and the body does fall with a thud. And as it does so, you can see that it looks to be a human. A human in the late 50s. You can see that the skin...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, you can see that the skin is wrinkled. There are no signs besides now what looks to be a broken leg from the fall. You can see that there's no signs of physical damage. The only thing you can see is the face looks to be a little bit grayed, the eyes, and you can see the fingernails specifically have been basically destroyed from scratching against the shaft of the fireplace.
It seems someone put him there.
He made a loud bang when he fell.
Yep, with a thud.
I'm by the stairs. Did I hear anything shifting upstairs, maybe?
Give me a perception check. And as you're doing such, you guys see the body has, yes, made its way onto the ground. Creaking throughout the house, but no scurrying or shuffling or anything that seems like a creature or malevolency is moving.
We
I
have
kind
found
of
a body in the chimney.
cause of death?
Strangulation. He was clawing at the shaft of the chimney, as evidenced by his fingernails.
Gonna poke my head on the chimney. Do I see anything?
You just see a shaft that seems to go forever into darkness, but nothing else.
I have poked him down.
And he's naked, so there isn't really much to check.
He is covered in soot.
I wonder how he got there.
He was tied to a pole that was stuck high enough up there that I struggled to reach it with my quarterstaff.
Yeah, this place is odd. I think I'm gonna do what I always wanted to do with his version of the wolves, and I wanna light them on fire somewhere.
Do you want to light them on fire in the house? Or out of the house?
Probably not. Probably outside, yeah. That would probably be a little fun.
Fireplace is open now.
That's true.
True. Do I just shove 3 wolves and light them on fire in there?
One of them would fit at a time in the fireplace, but if you would like to take them outside, you're more than welcome to as well.
There's a window right there. You can just chuck him out the window.
No, that's one, you know. It's a fucking wolf. It's a wolf full of meat and bones and maggots. I can't carry that.
I do not like the light, so I will be taking my leave out here.
For those out there, you see several doorways and an ascending staircase as the wolves are being prepared to be discarded at this time, and perhaps lit aflame at this moment.
I'll take all the pelts. I want a new backpack.
For sure, as you rip those pelts apart at this time, picking them up and bringing them outside the remains at this time. For Jason and for Gray, for the two of you, you guys see a doorway where you're at over here. You see this doorway is made out of the same wood as the other one, but you can see above this one actually has a small wooden sign, just a plank of wood that has been placed there, that says dining room on there.
But I'll try to open it if I can.
It is unlocked. Would you like to open it? As you open up that door, you see a room that is old and aged. You see all the seats have been pulled out of this long maple table. All of the silverware, all of the plates have been caked in dust. There's a fireplace off to your left, and there are windows off to the back that illuminate and are visible from the outside, from behind. This is not something that you have seen with any of the other windows, as there's a few loose pieces of wood that are there, but there is some slits to look through outside. You see off to the right, you see that there is a large painting, almost like a mosaic in a sense. You can see it looks to be a scene of a large area, a large flat bit of land that looks to have a casino. You can see it's painted. You can see it's large. There's different arcane lights that illuminate it, but it looks aged and historic. It doesn't look to be like any casino that you have seen currently, especially with the look and the design of this location.
Does it look like it might match the playing cards that I just got?
Looking at your playing cards and looking at that, they do look to match.
Oh, curious. The game room had playing cards that matched this painting.
But what do you think this might mean?
I'm not sure.
Do you
Other
think
than-
there's a guy in this chimney as well? Like maybe they are connected somehow?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna poke my quarterstaff in there. I'm a little more wary about my head getting caught on fire than Phelan was his.
You poke your quarterstaff in there, and nothing seems to happen at the time.
Does not appear to be that way. Would you like to check this door?
I think it will probably just lead back to the corridor.
Yes. It appears it does.
I love the flames outside, by the way. As the wolf carcasses are being illuminated, as this flame begins to flicker against the outside outside wall of the house, and the siding begins to illuminate with this glow. For those that have left the dining room, for Palin, you are sitting there by yourself inside this hunter's den, without these wolf statues inside there. It's just you and the body at this time. Did you guys take the body out, or did you guys leave it in there? Just to clarify, kept it in.
I'm not touching a naked dead guy unless I have to.
Since he got the wolves, I got the body. I'm doing a whole funeral service by myself.
Yeah. As that is being dealt with this time, Palin, you're inside this area, kind of taking a moment of reflection by your pumpkin self inside there. For the whole party, what are we up to at this time? As we have some wolves being burnt from the flames on the outside. We're exploring some of the areas of this main floor. What are we up to?
Gustav's gonna say to Marie, why is it you sound excited that he might be here?
Because there's no way. He's not. So it's someone playing a sick joke. So I'm taking it as that. A joke.
And if you're wrong,
I'm not.
fair enough. Let us put this sick joke to an end. I want to take his head from his body.
I'll be
Whatever
great.
this is.
At this time, for Gray and for Jason, the two of you begin to explore as some of the party begins to reunite inside the main hall. What are you guys up to?
Well, I guess with Marie right here, that door leads to a dining room. This door does not connect to it. There's a second door to the dining room down that hall. This leaves that door and this door unexplored. For the downstairs, anyway.
Well, this is a closet.
Looking in that closet, this is what you see. You see the closet is filled with old coats, but in the middle is a floating white sheet that is ominously eye level with you as the door swings open. What do you do?
Hold the sheet.
As you pull the sheet, you hear a snap as you see a bit of twine that has been tied to the ceiling falls off as the sheet falls to the ground. It looks to be a bed sheet.
Told you, it's all a joke. This place is a joke.
Perhaps.
I mean, we just saw a corpse, so it's not really a joke, but yeah. I'm gonna walk
There's
in
a
this door.
train.
Okay. Inside this room is an aged kitchen. There's not much in here. The supplies is dirty. The pots, the pans are dirty. There's an oven in the back next to what looks to be a pantry. The one thing you do notice, though, is there is a very thin mesh bucket that is on this table. The bucket is filled with a dozen or so live crawfish that are wiggling around inside trying to climb their way out, and then they fall. They cannot get out. That is something you notice. You also notice that there is a dumbwaiter, which is right here next to you. Things that you see.
I'm
I
gonna stick
see
my head
mold?
in and see what they're looking at, and then I'm gonna come out.
Do I see any mold?
Any mold?
Yes.
You do not see any mold. You do see that there is a oven. You see that there is a pantry door, and that bucket full of crawfish. Everything else, there doesn't look to be any other edible food that is on display.
What about in the pantry?
Inside the pantry, you see that there are tons of old and decayed bags of potatoes, aged rations that have even been eaten through from probably small animals and rats. But something you do notice is there are two buckets that are off into the right corner. They are filled to the brim with animal bones. You can see that they are a wide variety of different ones. You see some look to be of bird, some look to be of things like deer, for example, perhaps wolves. But another thing you notice is there are two jars behind it that look to be eyeballs. Maybe of animals, maybe not. That's what you see.
Curious.
This does not make sense.
Do I remember if animal bones can be used as spell components by any chance?
No
Like,
roll,
as far as, like,
no roll
what I
needed.
use?
Yes, you would assume that perhaps these could be used in some types of spells, rituals, or castings.
Yoink.
Or a good meal.
Into the bag they go.
As you cop this at this time. For Jason, you hear a rustling sound from the dumbwaiter. And then you hear what sounds to be a muffled voice. Inaudible when it comes to what it's saying. But a whiny voice coming from within the closed wooden door of the dumbwaiter.
He's gonna yell, "Hey guys, there's something here. I'm gonna open the door. So please be nearby."
That seems like an unwise decision.
And we're monster hunters.
You had already opened the door when I was saying that.
Do you open the door at this time?
Yep,
Jason?
I open the door.
As you open the
Door
door
is
at this
open.
time, you notice that there is nothing. No dumbwaiter that is visible there. You see the ropes to bring it up and down, but it's not on this floor. As you're sitting there...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, as you're sitting there, what do you do?
I'm going to pull on the ropes to make like the dumb waiter fall to my level.
Yeah. As you begin to slowly bring it down at this time, the dumbwaiter begins to creak and the wheels begin to kind of shake as it makes its way down from what looks to be from above. Inside this dumbwaiter, as it makes its way to you, looks to be the following. You see that there is a small bit of parchment paper that has some scribble on it. Besides that, you see that there is a bowl. This bowl looks to have bits of meat. It looks to be a stew. However, it looks to be aged and rotten. That is what you see.
Can I pick up the paper?
You can pick up the paper for sure. It is old and covered in dust and cobweb.
Is there anything written on it?
Help. Help. It is very shaky handwriting, almost as if it is somebody's final breath or breaths to get that ink onto the parchment. But this parchment looks old. But it's there.
Like, does the scribble at least seem new, or I get the sense that whoever wrote this is long dead?
You look and you kind of observe at this time. I'm going to ask at this moment for a intelligence check.
Okay. Just waiting for this to load.
The one-time calligraphy proficiency would have helped.
Oh yes, this might be a campaign for it. Who knows? Observing this with a 12, Jason, you look and you see that it looks like the parchment is well over decades. It's brittle, even like the edges of it and like the corners just brittly fall away from your touch. The ink also looks old, beyond years.
Oh, I guess we are decades late to save whoever was here.
A shame.
This does not make any sense. Something had to bring in the fish. You needed to walk through these rooms. There's not fresh tracks for it.
Alan, are you ever going to leave the game room?
You see he is in deep thought looking at what looks to be the poker table. You see that he is nudging some of the coins that are on there. Not coins of value, but they look to be these brittle wooden coins that have been painted in various different quantities and expenses. That's what you can see him doing at this time.
Wait, are these painted coins similar to the one that I have, like from the guy at the bar?
Looking at them, you do not see the same resemblance. These look to be very fine. They look to be used for perhaps more wealthy games, for example.
His coin
I guess
pushing has.
we should go upstairs.
It seems that way. His coin pushing has reminded me, I have not informed you two. There is a painting in the dining room that matches these playing cards that I found in the game room. Some kind of fancy casino.
Interesting.
I'm going to start making my way up the stairs.
You picked up the cards?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, maybe we can play later.
There were also dice in a mysterious box with a button and an opening.
Oh?
As the two of you begin to ascend your way up, for the rest of the party, do you guys also begin to make your way up to the second floor, or do you guys do anything else at this time?
Oh, yes.
I'll make
Gray and I are walking and talking.
Okay. Then as all of you begin to make your way up into the secondary floor of this area, an eeriness begins to hit, as this is not the same kind of sensation that you felt on the first floor. This one having an ominous, almost heaviness to the air. It's a heaviness that we, as a party, will explore next week. As we begin to look at the second floor of this area, thank you so much for watching us on Critical Failures. We are here with the new campaign. Thank you so much for watching. We had a really good audience today. We'll be back again next week on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, check us out on Monday for Tomb of Annihilation, as we can see what is going on inside this Bell Cemetery for us right now. And then for TOA, what is going to be going on in that chaotic tropical island survival, death, meat grinder campaign that will be. But from all of us, from Connor, from John, from Joy, from HP, from Frost. Yes, thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate it. You have a great rest of your week. From all of us, have a good one. See you.
Bye bye.